Today, I'm going to be exploring some new zones with my 3-prong pole spear and my roller spear gun. I'm going to stock up on some reef fish before taking my spear gun out to explore some beautiful new zones and hunt the most difficult fish on Hawaii's reefs. Afterwards, I'm going to free climb high up for some delicious, refreshing treats. Enjoy. We geared up in the shallows and started heading out to the structure. I saw this beautiful turtle, and then I noticed something that was out of place. This invasive roy should not be here, so I lined up on him with my 3-prong and smashed him right in the face. I pulled this guy out and then he started fighting like crazy, so I pushed him down against the rock with my spear and pushed it through as much as I could. Jordan dove down to help me out, but since I had already secured it, he just threw me the shaka.
Nice!
Thanks for the backup there.
Whoa, what a shot, dude!
Thank you, man.
That's awesome.
I tried dive bombing this moo, but there was absolutely no way I was going to make that happen with a 3-prong. This dive wasn't a complete loss though, because I ended up checking out this really cool little cave. On this next dive, I saw something super cool. I dove down to the bottom, and there's this natural slit in the reef where it looks like bigger debris, like larger pieces of coral and shells, are naturally accumulating. I saw this beautiful shell sitting right on top of the pile, and I decided my girlfriend might like it, so I snagged it, and then I just hung out there underneath this overhang. I saw another roy from the surface and dove down on it, but this guy definitely saw what happened to his friend because he did not want to play around. It was a little bit murky out and we hadn't had too much action, so we decided that we would just stock up on some kole for a big fish fry. There were a ton down here, but I was looking for the biggest one. Eventually, Jordan pointed one out to me and I lined up for my first shot of the day.
Little too powerful.
That was awesome.
After looking at these 3 kole, I looked around to see if there was a monster one lurking nearby, but it seemed like these were the only big ones, so I gave one a shot. I guess when this guy saw us shooting the kole, he forgot we were after him because he came out of his hiding spot and he was just chilling right up here on the reef. I was not going to let that stand, so I dove down to give him a taste of my spear. It wasn't a perfect shot, but it managed to hold. Those kole didn't have to worry about the roy anymore, but they certainly had to worry about us. This spot was absolutely loaded with them, so I had no problem picking out the biggest one, taking my time, and lining up for the perfect shot.
I still kind of got you getting that second guy.
That's awesome.
Even though we were smoking these guys, every once in a while we would still miss a shot. I'm sure Jordan doesn't want to talk about this one. I lined up on it, and it looked like I missed, but you know that is not possible. Jordan spotted this roy hiding in a hole and went down for it, but I guess the thing called its bluff because it charged out right in front of his spear. Look at this big school of nice sized kole here. I didn't notice it at the time, but these triggerfish are totally checking out the kole on the spear there. We loaded up our kui and started swimming in through the shallows towards the beach when we noticed something shiny. Jordan lined up on it and smashed it. The shot hit, but I wasn't sure if it was going to hold, so I lined up with a backup shot and smoked it. Kind of messed up the fillets here, so I'm sorry I didn't hit it in the head, but Jordan managed to land this beautiful lie with his 3-prong pole spear, something that I have never even done with a spear gun.
How you doing?
Hi, Mila. No.
Alright, brand new day of diving, and we are gearing up to swim out on the other side of the island. Look at the color of the water here, it is almost unbelievable. The 3-prong session was fun, but I have my gun today and I'm ready to smoke something a lot bigger. I hung out here on the bottom for a little bit watching the fish in the coral. I did notice this weird tire sitting on the sand, but I didn't notice much else, so I headed back up to the surface. We kept swimming out and eventually we found some really incredible structure. I dove down on the edge of this beautiful ledge and there were so many fish and coral around, I was just in awe. Eventually this little milu swam by, but he was not shooting size, so I just let him keep on going. Unfortunately, Jordan missed the shot and got his spear stuck in the reef down there. He couldn't get it out on his first try, but I was thinking I was strong, so I dove down to give it a shot, and I started pulling on this thing, and immediately I realized that this might be a little bit harder than I thought. I pulled as much as I could, I wiggled it, but this thing was just not budging. Jordan went down and he was doing some underwater acrobatics to try to get this thing out, but still no luck. Unfortunately, we could not get it to budge and we did have to cut the line. Alright, listen up you guys. This was my first time ever hearing whale songs. That was so cool, but unfortunately I could not stay down very long on that dive. But I think this dive was even more beautiful. Check it out, there's these giant big blue uhu, there's some beautiful moo in the background, and you can still catch a couple of those whale songs coming in now and then.
That was so beautiful.
Now I'll probably chum the Roy here.
Let's do it, dude.
See if the moo will come in.
I had seen those moo on my last dive and I wanted to take one home for dinner. If you guys want a little bit of a challenge, take a deep breath and try to hold it for the duration of this dive. When hunting moo, finding a good hiding spot is crucial. I had noticed a big coral head from the surface, and so right now I'm just diving down and working my way towards it. I spot the school of moo out to the right, and I begin to kind of situate myself onto this reef. I tuck into the coral head, that way my body is behind the coral head and the moo are just able to see my face barely sticking out. They definitely saw me go under there because you can see they're slowly circling around to my side of the coral head. As they turn that corner, I push my head even further back into that coral head so I can barely keep an eye on them. They are very timid, but they're also a little bit curious, so the more you make yourself a mystery, the better. You can see they're getting a little bit closer to me, and I'm just biding my time with my spear gun. There's that big uhu there, but I'm really after these moo. Eventually, it seems like they're not going to get any closer, and I'm almost out of breath, so I start making my way across the reef out towards them. They all start moving away, but this big guy is really taking his time, and I guess he's getting a little bit overconfident. I hit him, and the shot barely made contact. You can see only the tip is in him, and he is wiggling around like crazy. I don't grab the spear tip because I don't want him to rip out. Instead, I keep some slack in the line. That way he has something that he can swim against. I take a super quick breath, and then I dip my head back in the water because I have not landed this fish yet.
Yeah! What? Oh man!
It's barely in. It's barely in. Holy shit. Holy shit. Fuck.
Grab my gill.
I can't. Barely. Holy shit. Okay.
You gotta do it.
I got him. I got him. I got him.
I get a hand up on his head, and my next goal is to work that hand around into the gills.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait.
I'm just holding the tail.
Okay, good. You got the tail?
Barely.
I got him. Fuck. Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Dude, look, this wasn't even.
Barely in.
It wasn't even in him.
No, he just bit me.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
It wasn't even fucking in him.
Wow, what
Holy
a fish.
shit.
What a fish.
I had worked so hard for that moo. It was such an insanely close battle. It felt so good to brain him. And of course, I cut the gills so that the meat would be extra delicious. There was something else about that dive that I didn't even notice until I started looking back at the video. Right before I shot this moo, an uku had came in. Perhaps if I had been a little bit more patient, I could have got him, but I am so stoked with what I got.
Did you see how I tucked so deep into that coral? Dude, I'm good for the day. Yeah, you're welcome to use my gun for the rest of the session.
That was so epic, man. That was so awesome.
As we swam in, something piqued Jordan's attention, and so he dove down and lined up on it. He let off a shot, and it ended up being a beautiful goatfish. He's not leaving empty-handed. I admired my beautiful fish one last time in the water, and then we were up on the dry land. I want to go ahead and get some coconuts, but this outfit is just not gonna cut it. There we go. Long sleeve and long pants is definitely the way to go. So when I've been cutting coconuts in the past, I used to always use this machete right here. But once you're in there in those really dense fronds, it can be really hard to maneuver this and actually be able to get a swing into that stalk of the bunch. So then I decided to use this guy, just a nice little saw. It's really easy to get in there between the different fronds and just cut, super simple. But I could take it one step further. And recently, this guy has been my go-to. Super easy. So let's get up there and get him. I do have a pretty gnarly cut on my foot. I stepped on a gaff the other day, but I've got it bandaged up pretty good, so hopefully it's not gonna stop me. All right, we lose the shoes. This guy can go around my head. Let's get up there. Get these guys off, make sure this tree stays nice and healthy. There's a couple cuts that'll help us just for the very start. And then it's all just gonna be clamp into this thing. Oh. Okay, safety off. It might feel like I'm taking a lot right now, but the truth is no one besides me harvests from this tree. And the reason that I know that is because most of these coconuts that I'm gonna be pulling down today are too old to be used. So most of the coconuts I just cut down are actually just gonna, get left there because they've gone bad. So the coconuts are taken from this tree so rarely that they literally go bad up here. So whenever I do come by and climb it, I take all the ripe ones because otherwise they're just gonna go bad. This backside is very tricky. There's a bunch over there. But man, with this saw, I'm telling you, this was a game changer when I started doing this. Oh, that's an old one. This is the one I want. Looks like all the mature ones. I think this bunch needs a little bit more time. I feel super happy with this. And now, the tree's actually gonna be using its energy, making these ones good instead of just wasting it on ones that have, not wasting it, but expending it all on ones that have gone bad. The view's not bad here either. Man, these long pants and sleeves are so freaking crucial. Ooh. And it wasn't too bad on my foot, so that's really good news. So we've got quite a few bunches down here, but like I said up in the tree, most of these coconuts here are bad, and I'll show you guys how to figure that out in just a second. So there's a couple ways that you can tell if a coconut is bad. With a coconut like this, I can tell it's bad just by how big it is, and then it's also very light, and this is the telltale sign. This is what you want to do. You shake it, and if you can hear the water moving around, it means it's gone bad. That means there's an air pocket there caused by the chemical reactions, the fermentation inside of it. So if you can hear that water, just go ahead and toss them. So like I said, most of these are just gonna get tossed right now. Just gonna test one from this rack. Since that one was good, I'm gonna assume the same about the rest. So these are all of the coconuts that weren't obviously bad, but I'm gonna guess that a good half of these coconuts are no longer good. All right, I've been working hard. I really want something good to drink. So I have one of these little coconuts that I know is almost definitely gonna be good. And I'm gonna go ahead and just bust them open, see how it tastes. Oh man, I broke this one a little bit extra. I lost a little water. It's coming out the bottom actually, it cracked. This one's a little bit young. I'm gonna try one of these bigger ones. Oh my goodness, this one is so good. And it's actually cold, wow. Now that we're done drinking, we can go ahead and cut it open. And these little pieces of coconut husk make such a good spoon for all of this super, super early sweet meat. This stuff is like jello. It's so amazing. Oh man. If you guys have any ideas with how I can incorporate that fresh coconut water or fresh coconut meat into my recipes, let me know. I'd love to try them. And if not, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Now it's time for the second hardest task of the day, hiking all these out to my car.